Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat. My name is Bob Lennon, president of ThermalWood Canada and host for the show. And today our special guest, Kenn Mainville.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
I'm well.
So, Kenn, you're the new CEO of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra. We were joking around about that yesterday. You didn't change the first names. You kept the first names the same and changed the second name. Right. So, Kenn McLeod has finally decided that it was time to kind of retire. But he's not really going to retire. He'll be hanging around a little bit, but
he's going to stick around and be a big help to us. Yeah.
There. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because you're from New Brunswick and you do have a tie-in here to Bathurst. So let's talk a little bit about who you are and where you're from and what's happened in your life and how you made it to this point.
Sure. Thanks. Well, I grew up here in Bathurst. I moved here when I was 6 years old and spent most of my formative years here, and went to Bathurst High, graduated in 1986. And everyone thinks my name's Kenn Mainville. And so everyone from Bathurst thinks, oh, you must be related to Mainville Trucking. And I actually have never met them. But
we can fix that for you.
Distant cousins, I'm sure, but from the same, back in the family tree somewhere, there's a connection. But my other connection to Bathurst family-wise is my mom's brother owned a stationery store long before there were Staples and all the big box stores. Coffin Office Supply. You remember? That was my uncle that owned that store. Yeah,
right next to the cemetery on Douglas.
That's right. Yeah, perfect name.
Oh yeah, perfect. And probably where it came from, maybe, I don't know.
That's the family name.
That was the family name too. Just the location was kind of good. Yeah. So, been gone for a while. You left New Brunswick.
Yeah, we did. I've made the rounds Nova Scotia and Ontario and Alberta for the last number of years, but so happy to be back in the Maritimes. We're going to get settled in Moncton to work with NBYO and Systema New Brunswick.
So tell us a little bit more about, you're stepping into this new role and as the CEO of the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra and the Systema program and everything else that's tied in around it. But what are some of the exciting things that are happening? And there are a few of them that are happening that you're involved, that you're stepping into. It's already started, but now the baton's been handed off to you.
It has, and I pictured when I took the job. Before you start, you kind of have an idea what it's going to be like, and then you get into it and you realize, oh, this is what it's like. It's different than what I thought. I described it as I saw the NBYO Systema train pull into the station, and I got invited on board. And it wasn't until we left the station that I realized, oh, this is a bullet train. It's just a million things happening all at once, and it's amazing. It's a lot of fun, actually. A lot of great stuff. I can share some of that. But
well, one of them, we were just kind of briefly talking about it. There's a little bit of a concert going on, and there's a link with a famous person. Well, this is, to me, is a great story, again for New Brunswick and again for the kids that are in the NBYO.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of people know who the author Dan Brown is. He's a best-selling author, and you would know him by his books, which were turned into movies. The Da Vinci Code and Inferno, Angels and Demons. There's a whole bunch of them. What people don't know about the same Dan Brown is that he's also a musician and a composer. And before he was as famous as he became, he had a real love for music. And during the pandemic, he decided to write a symphony. And so he composed a symphony with children in mind. And so he wrote this and turned it into a children's book that accompanies the music. And the way he featured music was he created a different animal character that's in this children's book for all the different instruments in an orchestra. And so you can use the book, read it to a child, and teach them about orchestral music. So when Kenn McLeod saw this book, he thought, oh, well, it would be amazing to have Dan Brown and this book be part of a concert that our children here in New Brunswick would do. And this symphony is being played around the world this year by some of the world's best. The Seattle Philharmonic. There's a whole list of world-class adult symphonies that are playing this music, but there's no children's orchestra playing the music. And so we Kenn made this pitch to Dan Brown and his team, and they loved the idea. And Dan Brown himself is coming in June to do 3 or 4 concerts with us in schools in Moncton. We're going to do one in French for the Francophone School District and one in English for the English School District, where there will be thousands of kids bussed in for the concert. And Dan Brown will be on the stage with 100 children from around New Brunswick, all under the age of 14. And they will be like our most accomplished kids in the Sistema program. We have 9 Sistema centers around the province now.
All right. So this isn't the NBYO team. This is because there's some older ones in that group. So you're taking the best of all the 9 different.
Yes.
So there might be some kids here from the Chaleur region because we started.
Well,
no, because they just started.
Beginners.
Yeah,
and they're quite young so far. So they've only been practicing and rehearsing since October. So,
yeah.
So they may not make the cut this time, but
still.
But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of opportunity that doesn't really happen very often, and we're really excited. So Dan will sit on the stage during the concert and read from the book, and the kids are going to play the music that goes with the story behind him. Yeah.
All right. So this is a real different twist to it.
Yeah. And we just announced it on, sorry, cut you off, but we just announced on Monday, and tickets went on sale Monday, and they're just going like crazy already. Hundreds of tickets have been sold, which is rare because usually people wait, around here. We wait till the last minute to get the tickets, but people are excited about this. So, yeah.
Oh, no, that's amazing. But, it's a story. Like, and, my hat's off to Kenn. The other Kenn, but for, making these links and seeing stuff, you got some big shoes to fill.
I do, and I'm so thankful that he's not just saying, good luck with this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
He's sticking around and he's a wonderful mentor. I've known him for many, many years. In fact, I had 2 kids two of my children played in the New Brunswick Youth Orchestra. And that's when I first got involved with NBYO, because I was a supportive parent driving kids around. I was one of the parents that everybody would, I had a minivan. I'd take 5 musicians and off we'd go to Edmundston or wherever we were going for a concert. And when Kenn started to talk about bringing a Sistema like program to New Brunswick, I got very excited about that. And so I became an advocate parent, talking about that we should really do this and supporting it. And I remember they invited me to speak at an annual general meeting. And so I gave a pitch, for why we should support this. And then out of that, they invited me to join the NBYO board of directors. I served on the board for 4 years, and just really, really have enjoyed the New Brunswick story that orchestra has become, and now the Sistema program. We have 1,100 children in the 9 centers every day, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for 10 months of the year. Yeah. So that's 600 hours of rehearsal time or practice time in a year. So it's no wonder these kids who will be playing with Dan Brown we sent them some video of our kids, and I think, anyone who hears them would realize, wow, they're playing at a very high level. And it's so amazing to see such a young age, they're playing at such a high level. So, well,
the NBYO came here back, and I'm trying to think now, I think it was January. It might have been December anyways, when they came. And it was the first time that I had ever heard them play at the Bathurst High. And I had goosebumps. Yeah. Like, it was just absolutely incredible to hear. And there was over 100 kids on the stage at that one.
Yes. And this year, for the first time, about 80% of the kids in the orchestra have come from the Sistema program. So that's. And so it's amazing to listen to them. It's totally amazing to the fact of the program itself and how, that's, come along. And that's how I got hooked on it, is that, the story was so passionate and inspiring about how it was trying to change the society and helping young people out and stuff. It's just amazing. And I'm glad that you've decided to participate and to take the baton on, because,
like you said, you got on the train,
Yeah.
but it's a rocket train. Like it's a bullet.
Yeah, there's so many good things, and the Dan Brown is a big highlight because that's what it is. But there's just a long, long list, and there always has been over these last number of years, and it's just accelerating. So I'm excited to be a part. It's a real privilege, and I have a real love for New Brunswick, and like you say, it brings tears to your eyes. I've been touring around and visiting the different centers, and every time I hear these kids. And some of their stories and what the background that they've come from or the challenges that they've overcome, and seeing them playing at such a great level within I was just at the center here, the Schuller Center, and these kids are young, but they're already sounding amazing. They have a spring concert coming up too, which people might be interested. April the 10th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
Like we interviewed Alfonso and Sierra back in December, and they asked if the kids could play a little thing for us, but they'd only started in October, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I really couldn't believe how they had progressed so. But like you said, there's 600 and some hours a year of practice,
Yeah.
And I still remember asking Kenn when Kenn first told me this, and he said, get the kids and they're from grade 1 and grade 2, and they're just young children, and they're going to go and practice 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I went, Kenn, like, I know you're a nice guy and everything else, but you're nuts. Like, there's no way kids are going to do that, but they love it.
They love it. I asked these kids today when I was visiting, I said, do you like this? And they're like, oh, yes, we like our teacher and we like our... it's the music being really good music is a wonderful thing, but what's more important than even the music is just that these kids are learning life skills that will literally change the trajectory of their life. We've had some that have come through, entered in grade, when they're in grade 1, went all the way through the program, and then became such skilled musicians that they got full scholarships to university. And we have one who's coming back. He wrote us a letter saying, I'm graduating in April. I had a really difficult childhood, and I thank the Sistema program for making a difference in my life. I got to a level where I got a full 4-year scholarship. I'm graduating in April. I'd like to come back, and I'm going to be applying to work in the Moncton Sistema Center, or with the Sistema program. He's going to be most likely going to hire him, and especially if he sees this. But he will join our team. So it's that full circle. It says a lot about an organization when people
absolutely
who've gone through it want to come back and help continue.
And again, they can talk from the heart, right? Because they've been through the program, and like you said, difficult childhood, and worked their way through. And where else would they have that opportunity to end up with full scholarships?
That's right.
That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
It's totally amazing. It's a great story. Kenn, listen, I really appreciate the fact that you came in today to and dropped by to be able to talk to us and be on the show and pass out the word again that this is a great program. Looking forward to seeing the show down in Moncton. I'm going to go.
Great.
And looking forward to seeing that. And again, congratulations on your new job.
Thank you so much.
I wish you the best in that, and good luck with driving that train bullet that you're on.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on.
There we go. There we have it. Another edition of Northern Heat for this week. The place you come to listen to the stories that you haven't discovered yet.